Alright, so in this first video of breaking down the triangle choke, first we're going to talk about just kind of our goals and the order of operations in order to fully secure, fully lock up the triangle so that we can get the choke. And so to start, we're just going to be in what I call the diamond position or the diamond phase of the triangle. And the reason it's called this is because if my partner is not in this to start, we're not going to worry about walking the full figure four. To start, we're just going to worry about crossing our ankles around our partner and then maintaining this shape here. So when we get into our triangle situation, our diamond phase, before I commit too much to the triangle, I want to make sure that I have this situation under control, making sure my partner is controlled here, trying to make this diamond as small as possible, and I want to control the head. I don't want to commit too much to fully setting up the triangle because I may put my partner in a situation where they can start to pass my guard. If I don't have the situation controlled and I'm trying to lock up the triangle, you may put yourself at risk. So first, once my legs are around my partner's head and one of their arms in the situation, I'm pulling my knees to my chest, pinching my knees together, and then clamping my heels down to my butt very tightly. And at the same time, I'm going to be controlling my partner's head. The main thing I'm worried about is not my partner posturing up, but if this position is too loose, I'm actually worried about them lifting their hips up and walking backwards while ducking their head down like this. This is gonna be how high-level opponents are gonna escape this position. So again, I'm trying to make this diamond around my partner's head as small as possible by tucking my heels to my butt, pinching my knees together, pulling my knees to my chest, and then controlling the head. So now there's no space for his head to slip out. Once I have the situation under control, my next goal is going to be to lift my hips so that my legs and my torso are one solid straight line. This is going to make it very easy for me to pull the arm across the center line. And now I'm going to drop back down. And as I drop down, I'm going to kind of be crunching inwards. So I can kind of use my stomach and my abs behind my partner's tricep to block his arm from coming back across from the center line. If I need to, especially if my partner's fighting really hard, I can go back to temporarily controlling the head. But once I've successfully controlled the diamond position enough where I feel comfortable pulling the arm across the body, my next goal is now going to be to lock up the triangle position. And so let's turn a little bit this way. Once we're here, my goal is to lock up the triangle without my partner's shoulders in the choke. Some people can lock it up with the shoulder in the choke and finish no problem, but if you're someone with maybe a little bit shorter legs, then it may be difficult to get the full figure lock here. And so I never want to settle for locking the triangle over my own toes like this. You could potentially hurt yourself. So I'm gonna make sure my toes are always engaged here, toes pointed up, and I'm never gonna go for the triangle unless I can actually lock this full figure four. And so in order to get there, here we're controlling. My hand's gonna go to my shin, my left hand, the same side of the arm that's in the triangle here. I'm grabbing my shin. My other hand is gonna post on the inside of my knee. And so now I'm gonna unlock. And I'm only gonna unlock after I grab my shin. I'm not gonna unlock and then try to grab my shin, because if I do that, by the time I go to grab, my partner is gonna be postured up and they're gonna be gone. So here, grab my shin, post on the inside of the knee. Now I'm gonna step on my partner's hips. And I'm still pulling my knees to my chest, pinching my knees together very tightly so that I'm still controlling his posture, preventing him from standing up, preventing him from pulling out. Now my next goal is to push on the inside of my knee as I shoulder walk backwards, and I'm gonna keep shoulder walking backwards until I can pull my heel past my partner's shoulder, here like this. Now it's gonna be a lot easier for me to lock up that figure four without compromising the dorsiflexion of my foot here, because again, I don't want to lock over my toes like this. Fully locked here. Another tip you can do if you're having trouble locking is I'm grabbing my shin, because I don't want to grab over my foot, kind of same thing here. I can end up hurting myself when my partner explodes up here. So I'm either grabbing my shin, or if I'm starting to lock but it's not fully locked and I'm having a hard time grabbing my shin, I can also grab the bottom of my foot like this to make that final adjustment. Now the last steps, now that I have the triangle locked up, is I'm gonna start to cut an angle towards the direction my partner's arm is pointing. I'm gonna look to underhook this arm, and then rather than just pinching my knees together, what I actually wanna try to do is turn my quad here towards myself, and I'm pulling my knee towards my chest as I stomp my hamstring down. So rather than doing just this, squeezing. I'm cutting that angle, I'm turning my knee in, and then I'm sliding my leg up my shin as I use my hamstring to push my partner away. Gives us a much tighter choke. And one other thing we can do in this position as well to help us get the choke is a lot of people will try to just grab the head, pull the head straight down. Sometimes you can get the tap from this because this is very uncomfortable. But our goal with the triangle is to put our partner's shoulder in one side of their neck and have our hamstring on the other side of the neck. That's how we get the choke. So if I feel like maybe my partner is a lot smaller than me, maybe there's a lot of extra space here, maybe just squeezing isn't doing enough, if I feel like I need to attack my partner's head, instead of pushing it straight down, instead of pulling it down, I'm actually gonna push off the side of the head and push my partner's head into their own shoulder to get that close off on the choke. So one more time for the beginning. We got to this triangle position here, regardless of how we got here. Again, first thing I wanna do is just make sure I can control my partner in this position. So I'm pulling him in, controlling the head, pinching my knees together. Once I feel I've adequately controlled here, I lift my hips, 2 on 1, pull the arm across, sink my hips back down, grab the head, and again, I'm crunching forward. So I'm not having my back flat on the mat here, engaging my core, lifting my head up so that my stomach is blocking his tricep. Now I grab my shin, post on the inside of the knee. I step on my partner's hip so that I can push myself away to stretch my partner out, get my heel past the shoulder, and then having that foot on the hip also stops him from following me as I make this adjustment. Now I can lock the triangle, start cutting this corner, underhooking, turning my knees, getting that finish, or if I need to, I can grab my partner's head, push their head into their own shoulder as well to finish the choke. So this is part 1 of our triangle series. Just focus on, once we are in a triangle situation in that diamond phase, the proper order of operations to get that full figure forward locked. Awesome.